Commander, do you have a minute?
I always make time for my office.
Off the record? Sorry, Commander.
The council...
And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view.
Well...
Sorry. There are worse results. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your...
There were other...
We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research plan. Like you, I guess. Things never felt together. Training. It was... I'm not saying they intentionally... It was a sterile research. Anyway, this was supposed... You, make a habit of getting this personal?
Of course. But I don't enjoy...
But, yeah.
I never properly thanked you for saving me.
I'm just glad we got there in time.
But I am not like Benezia. It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Me? I am...
Sounds
As for the solitude, well, you so fascinating.
Sounds like you...
I only meant that you would be an Joking. Oh, by the goddess! Now you know why I prefer to... Please, just pretend this conversation... Maybe she thought a line... None of this makes any sense to... Although we seek to understand... we still require a partner. We then pass these traits on, and others can be more long-term. She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know
I thought you always needed an...
It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by... Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the... Goodbye, Shepard.
Hey, Commander. Looking for...
What have you got?
Well, hell, the licenses alone have set me back. Many of the best licenses are hard. There are too many for me to keep track of. Many of the best licenses are... Check back often. I need to move item... No problem. Keep checking back.
Commander, I knew working with the Spectre. At C-Sec, you're buried by...
For the most part, the rules are there for...
Maybe. But C-Sec wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure.
So you just...
C-Sec's handling of Saren? Well, that's what... Either way. And without C-Sec headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe...
If getting the job done means...
I wasn't trying to...
Commander?
What's your opinion?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her...
I think she's being...
Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
I don't think she's used to teasing. Good-natured or otherwise.
Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. Sure, I was hoping to get a minute of your time.
I keep an...
I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but, I'm concerned about the... With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies.
This is the most advanced... I don't think we should give engines, sensors, weapons...
You don't trust the Alliance?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies. We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
You got a pessimistic view of the universe, Williams.
A pessimist is what an optimist calls a realist. Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, ma'am. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
I never knew my family. Grew up an orphan on Earth. Anybody in your family I'd have heard of?
Couldn't say, Commander. So why are you out here? Just trying to get away from Earth?
No. The future of humanity is out here. There's so much we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I still remember my first field exercise on Titan. When we hit mud, the reality hit me. I'm the first person who ever stood here. Then my drill instructor kicked me in the ass. I went face first into the muck. He spent the next 5 minutes chewing me out for gold bricking.
Don't tell me you had Gunny Ellison. He's the only one who uses that word to describe shirking duty.
Oh, Lord. You went to the Makapog boot camp, too? Yeah. Gunny Ellison's still reaming out recruits down there. Kicking ass and using words like inveigle and pusillanimous.
All right, I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're gonna have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. Cheek.
I don't think kissing Turians will be necessary.
You never know, Commander. Ma'am.
Shepard.
What's your story,
There's no story. Go ask the Quarry. Well, there was this one time the Turians almost won.
I heard about
It's not
that.
the same.
It seems pretty...
And I suppose it's destroyed. I don't expect you to understand. The genophage infected us. We're too spread out.
Lots of species.
So we leave.
What can you...
Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And
Why don't the Krogan try to...
It's just who we are.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time...
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her.
I figured she'd be a real...
You've got an eye for Tali, Commander. But I'm guessing that's not why you came... So, eventually the sinks have to be... Most vessels rely on sensors can pick up our location.
Where else?
You name it. My last assignment was on the Tokyo. She's the best ship I've ever served. Proportionally, it's about...
Carry on,
Aye,
Adams.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on the vessel...
I had no idea you found
It comes with being some of the fleet's larger vessels... But some things we just can't make are... Unfortunately...
What kind of...
Well, in extreme case... Fortunately... It's a safeguard that served us well. All I know... But one thing we underestimate... Many of the guest logic systems... No. But when they're in... As you can imagine... A general order went out. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil.
It's hard to feel.
Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? They're the enemy. They want... When... This is presented as a gift to the captain.
Captain?
It's not the best way to make a good impression.
I want to talk
like
about...
what? See you later.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me.
If we present you...
So...
I have to go.
Alright, see ya. Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing?
She's the best ship in the fleet. Balance isn't... The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander.
I like to know my crew. Mind fast?
You won. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in
I'm
my...
sorry, Joker.
You mean... Okay, I've got... Even... Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you.
Why does everyone call you?
It's a lot shorter than...
You're dodging
Look, I
the
didn't
question.
pick the name.
Why didn't you ever...
They'd all got their asses kicked by the sick... Yeah, 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical
I'm not
science.
trying to make you uncomfortable.
Whatever you want, Commander.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya. Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nassana Dantius. I have a job for you. I can't say any more in an unsecured communication. If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
I'm on my way.
Of a fight.
All targets down. I'll follow.
This place looks abandoned.
You lead, I'll follow. According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Perhaps we will find more answers at the excavation site.
According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Perhaps we will find more answers at the excavation site.
Deployed. Lock shields!
This place looks abandoned.
According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander, we've got a situation that requires your expertise. A group of fanatical biotics have kidnapped the chairman of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman Studies. Their freighter sustained damage and is dead in space. Get in there and take them down.
What kind of resistance should I expect?
The biotics were seen loading equipment into the freighter. Expect traps and combat drones. Nothing you can't handle.
What are the biotics asking for?
They're L2 biotics, and most of them are suffering major side effects from the implants. The subcommittee denied a request for reparations to all L2 biotics. Apparently they'd like the chairman to reconsider.
What's the priority on saving the chairman?
Saving him would be my preference, but we must make it clear that these tactics don't work, Commander. Your top priority is to neutralize the biotics.
Understood, Admiral. I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate you taking the time, Commander. I'm sending you the last known coordinates of the freighter. Good luck. Fifth Fleet out.
Intruders! Kill the hawk! See how it is? You write letters and everyone ignores you. Force is the only thing people appreciate. So how about if I kill Chairman Burns and finish this charade?
Please, I was trying to help you people.
Let's not do anything we're all gonna regret.
Why not? What have we got to lose? Since the chairman here decided that we didn't get reparations, we've got nothing left to live for.
But I've changed my mind. Seeing you all, it's clear that you all deserve...
You had your chance. Some L2s are nearly crippled from side effects of the implants, but you voted against reparations.
Think about this. Burns is the one man who can help you.
Yes, if you release me, I can take another look at the reparations request.
What, we're supposed to trust you? Sure, you promise us freedom and say everything will be fine, but as soon as we surrender, you'll double-cross us.
I'm not promising to let you go. All I'm saying is that Burns will take another look. Right, Burns?
Absolutely. I had no idea that the L2 biotics were this desperate. If I'd known, the reparations will come. For whatever it's worth, I promise that.
You're right. I don't want to die. Maybe something will happen this time. We surrender.
Thank you, Commander. I thought I was dead when they took me. I'll see to it that the reparations discussion is reopened. I didn't know they were so desperate.
A 5th Fleet cruiser will be by shortly to pick you and the prisoners up.
Thank you, Commander. I thought I was dead when they took me.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Thank you for dealing with the hostage situation, Commander. Chairman Burns was quite impressed by the way you resolved the situation peacefully. Your assistance above and beyond the formal duties has been noted, Commander. 5th Fleet out.
Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in. I'll patch it through.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
What do you need, Admiral?
There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here. Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground of the VI core and manually disable it.
Can't you disable
Our
it?
fail-safes aren't responding. The VI operates on a closed... We could bomb it from orbit, but the damage to the facility would be catastrophic. I know Spectres answer the Council, but you're still human. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and...